Good morning, Facebook world. Welcome to the studio. I have something special for you today geared mostly towards our toddlers and our infants. This is one of my favorite homemade paints that you can make. So, very easy to make. What's up, baby girl? Did you get my mail? Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye, guys. Bye. We're wrapping up a class, so lobby's buzzing. Bye, Alana. We'll see you later. So this paint is super easy to make. You don't need very many ingredients. The only thing you're going to need is something to color it with. And since it's edible, yesterday if you tuned in, you saw that we use liquid watercolors. But since this is actually an edible paint for our infants and toddlers, we're going to use food coloring today. If you don't care that this is edible, you can go ahead and use those liquid watercolors, those washable watercolors. But I went and invested in some food coloring for us, so that way my toddler class, or my baby class that's meeting later today, they can put this in their mouth and eat it all they want. So I did the neon ones because I really like the way the neon colors look. So that's what I have. And then you're going to need, this is our kind of our secret ingredient, is sweetened condensed milk. 1 can is going to be plenty for everybody. I actually made one out of 2 cans, but I'm going to have 8 kids here. So 1 can is plenty. Make sure you get the sweetened condensed, not the evaporated milk, because the evaporated milk is going to be thinner, and it's not going to have the sugar content in it that the sweetened condensed does. And you want it to be nice and thick and sugary so that it dries really glossy. So you want to dump it into a container. As many different wells as you need. You can use little cups. I've seen it in ice cube trays, and I think that's a great idea. I'm using, of course, a ginormous tray because I've got a big class. So this is my big one. You can see I've already got 1 color made over here. So you just dump it in or pour it in. This is a great thing for those little ones to help you with. They love to stir and squirt and things. So if you do the dumping and the portioning out, they can do the squirting and the stirring. And then all you have to do, back this up so it can see it on my camera. Bye, guys. Bye, Dylan. See you later. All you got to do is take your food coloring and squirt it in your sweetened condensed milk and give it a stir. I've got popsicle sticks. You probably have spoons. I don't. So give it a stir. The more coloring that you use, the brighter your color is going to be. The less coloring that you use, the more pastel it's going to be. And again, this is a great thing for your young ones to do for you or with you, is to do the mixing. The prep of a activity, I know, is one of those things that sometimes parents say is an obstacle for doing different projects. If you incorporate the kiddos into the prep and it becomes part of the activity, 2 things. One, maybe you don't get quite so hung up on the fact that you spent all this time prepping and all they did was play with it for 10 minutes, right? So the prep time actually helps lengthen the activity that you're doing. The other thing is kids love to help. And what great skills here that they get to squirt and stir. It's working things like, trunk stability, shoulder stability, mobility here in the wrist. Squirting is working on that pincher grasp and the fine motor skill that they need to be great writers and drawers. So, all right, so we're done with the stirring. I'm going to move my sticks off of here, and we've got our paints ready to go. Now, you may wonder what this is going to look like, and I am going to show you what it looks like when we paint it on. But let me talk really quick about why I think this is such a great paint, especially for my families who maybe have that 4-year-old or 3-year-old, and then they have a 1-year-old, the 18-month-old, that wants to do everything that big brother or big sister does, right? So if you've got, that gap, and you've got that Miss Independent second child that needs to do everything that the big one does, and the big one wants to paint, this is the paint that you can use, because when the big one has this, they can make a fantastic, beautiful little picture, and the little one can just smear it everywhere and eat it, and it's totally appropriate for both of them to explore on their level. So this is what one of the ones that I did earlier today, and it is dry. I went ahead and did a hairdryer real fast on it. So you can see it's got a shine to it. That's because of the sugar content that is in the milk. See if I can get it close. Woo. So it is, and it's slightly tacky just because of the sugar content, but it's still a very shiny, glossy picture. Now, somebody asked me about the longevity of this stuff, right? It is sugar, and milk. So is this the type of picture that I can keep in my child's portfolio forever and ever and ever? I'm going to go with no. I don't know that for sure. I've never really tried. We are a process art studio here. Most of the stuff that we make goes into the garbage. So it gets, we could take a picture of it. We could remember that we did it, but maybe not a keepsake. Now, I have read some blog posts that say that we can throw this in a frame, and because it's airtight, they haven't had any problems with mold or with odor or anything like that. I can't speak to that. I haven't tried that. If you do, please let me know. But otherwise, plan on this being a process activity for your kiddos. So let me show you what it looks like when you actually get to paint it. You want to do that? Let's see. I've got this one that I've been playing around with. Now the brush choice, totally up to you. I came in this morning because I wanted to try all different types of brushes to see if there was one that was better. So far, haven't found one that's better. Pick one that you have at home and one that your kiddos love. Okay, this is my favorite brush. This is the one I'm going to use. And unlike the chalk paint that we used yesterday, this stuff isn't going to drip as much when you dip in. It pretty much stays on the brush. You don't get as much dripping action. Hello, you can come in. Okay. It's a very informal Facebook Live video.
This is Best of the Northland. You won in the top 3 for art entertainment.
I love that. Look at that.
Information is inside.
I love it. Thank you very much.
Is Lisa still the contact person?
Best of the Northland. My Facebook Live audience is excited too. All 2 of them. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I love it. All right, guys. So back to our painting video here. That's really exciting, by the way. Maybe we'll open it later. Here's what our paint looks like on our brush. And then all you have to do to apply it to the paper, our young ones are going to drizzle and drip to their heart's content. Our older ones can actually paint a pretty design on their picture. I like this paint because the colors don't mix really easily. So if you've got a kiddo that makes brown every single time they paint, these ones tend to stay a little bit more separate because they've got that viscosity where it's, it's just nice and thick, right? So here if I put some blue on top of my purple, which of course doesn't make brown, and I know that, but I get a beautiful bluish purple color. Isn't that pretty? Look how shiny it is. Ah! All right, so that is my sweetened condensed milk paint, right? So 2 ingredients. Next time you go to the grocery store, you're going to pick up sweetened condensed milk, and you're going to pick up food coloring if you don't already have it. If you already have it, then you're good. It doesn't take much at all. I used like 3 drops, and it did not, plenty of color going on in here. Now, alternatives to this, you can use evaporated milk, and it turns out more like a watercolor. So if you don't want to do, this is kind of a tempera maybe substitution. If you want to do that with a watercolor kind of look, try it with evaporated milk instead of the sweetened condensed milk. And you'll still get a glossy sheen to it, maybe not quite so much and not quite as sticky, but it's still an edible paint that those young ones can play with. So I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that you try it out at home. Again, if you do it, I want to see pictures, so post them to Instagram, post them to Facebook, post them to Twitter, and tag us in it, Orange Easel Art, and we would love to see them and share them on our page as well, so we can all be inspired by the creativity that you guys have at home. Let's see, I've got notes. Look, I want to make sure not to forget some things. Okay, check, did that one. Most of our summer classes are filling or full, but we do have some spots available, and I'd love to get those last little ones kind of filled in. So go to our website, check those out, especially the Thursday afternoon classes. We'd love to get some more people in those for embroidery and weaving, and we got some jewelry classes for the older kids. And then just a little teaser, I've got some really good news for some of you tomorrow, and you should definitely tune in for that. I'm just going to say, if you are on the Glitter Fest wait list, you should probably check your email. All right, and on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and that we see you in the studio soon. Bye-bye.